France squad for the autumn internationals. It's a bit of an interesting mix. I've had a quick look through the squad. I always struggle a little bit with the French in that I don't watch the top 14 with any regularity. So there's a heap of guys who I kind of miss out on seeing. I see some of them in the Champions Cup. So a few of these new guys I'm familiar with, but there are a lot of guys with 0 caps in the squad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9, maybe 10 guys with no caps. Most cap guy in the squad is Fiku with like 63 caps. So it's a very different squad. It's very young compared to like the Springboks or the All Blacks. It's more along the lines with England actually, having a much more youthful squad. Average age forwards 25, backs 24. Whereas all those other squads like Wallabies, All Blacks, as I mentioned, kind of 27, Ireland 27. So yeah, young and a mix of youth and experience. But we'll go through the squad, it's the fixtures, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on how the French are going to go and what's going to be kind of a successful 3 games for them. Is it 2 from 3? Is it 3 from 3? What is the kind of marker they need to be setting? But anyway, I'll go through the squad and you guys can let me know your thoughts. So Barlow, Marchand and Malvaka are the hookers. None of them are totally new faces, but the most experienced is Marchand with 14 caps and 26 years old. So not hugely experienced. Most squads have got at least a guy with 30 years under his belt and maybe 20, 30 caps, but not the French side. But then again, Marchand has been looking the business, so good to see him there alongside the other 2 guys. Props Aldegheri, Bai, Bamba, Gross, Umpaton and Paiva. Paiva I do not know. I may have seen him playing for Bordeaux, but he is uncapped, 25 years old. I will be keen to see how he goes. Umpaton I think I saw play in the Aussie series, but he's only got the 1 cap to his name. Gross, Bamba, Bai have been around for seemingly longer than what their caps would suggest, with 11, 17 and 28, and then Aldegheri's got 8. So yeah, it's not a hugely experienced big old front row, but there's certainly some talent there. Bamba has been impressive in what limited caps he's got. Haas is not available through injury. Shah, I think, at hooker is also not available through injury. So yeah, it is a bit of a mixture. Locks, there's like 3 newcomers in Flamand, Bamberberg and Verag. I don't know a heck of a lot about any of them. I did look up Verag and Vandenberg and whatnot, and Verag I think is a bit of a big unit. Big man, bit of tall timber. So we'll see if he gets much game time. I would imagine there's at least 1 game there where they can mix some of the youthful guys in with some of the experienced ones. But Leroux and Willemse and Telfa Fanua they're all kind of veterans of the squad, so we know what to expect from them. And then old Girassi is kind of like in the middle, and that he's got 4 caps. So compared to 3 of the locks, he's still a newbie, and compared to the other 3, he is vastly experienced. So yeah, again, pretty young. Guys who are like 21, 24, 22. So still with heaps of potential. Back rowers, Aldric, Creton, Kroos, Diallo, Gelon, Makalu and Woki. Young. None of those guys are 30. The oldest one is Kroos, who is 27, which is also pretty scary. Obviously, there's no Olivon. He did an ACL injury, so he's been out for an extended period, which is a pity because he is a phenomenal player. But every team, I guess, is missing guys for one reason or another. Woki's been one of the guys who I've kind of come to appreciate seeing playing over the last 12 months, probably since this time last year when I didn't really know anything about him, but he's a great line-out operator, very versatile guy. Gelon was a bit of a mainstay, I think, during the Aussie tour from memory. So yeah, it's no debutants there. DLO is the least experienced with just the 1 cap, but it's the development, isn't it? Like guys like Woki, who a year ago didn't have any caps, have now got 8, or Makalu's got 5. So yeah, Gelon has 11, so they are kind of building that experience. Like Eddie Jones said, he's starting the World Cup kind of building from now. I think France started a wee bit earlier. Backs, you got Kuyu, Dupont and Luku. I don't know much about Luku. He's 28 years old, uncapped, plays for Bordeaux again. But Dupont and Kuyu certainly, Dupont is renowned as either the best or top 2, top 3 kind of halfbacks in the world, depending on who you ask. and he's only 24, which is also scary. There's no Ribaren. I'm not sure if he was injured or just not considered. He did travel to Australia, but he's not in the mix. Serran, I think, is also injured. Shoulder is what I read for him. So it's realistically going to be Dupont and whoever backs him up, and maybe one game you start somebody else. Potentially, I don't know. Gaultier is going to have to decide how he mixes things up. 10s, you got Astoy, Jalibert, and Intermark. Scary thing is the 24-year-old Astoy is the oldest. One cap he earned in Australia, and then Intermark, I think, is the main guy, but Jalibert, when he stepped in, has also looked the business. So despite the young ages, 24, 22, and 22, you look rather stocked in that area too. Midfield is an area where there's only one truly experienced guy in Fiku with those 63 caps like I mentioned, but Dante, the big old unit, who'll be looking to make some lives miserable if he plays. He's there with his 8 caps, and then Moefana, who's got 2, and Vili, who is new to the squad, who I haven't seen play, 21-year-old debutant from Clermont. Yeah, I'm keen to see how he goes because I do not recall seeing him. But as I said, Woki I probably hadn't seen a year ago, and now I can kind of fully appreciate what he is about. Outside backs, Lebel, Luc, Penot, Tafufunua. I'm assuming that's a brother or relative of Romain. This is Donovan. Villiers, Bourros, Doulon, Jaminet, and Rameau. There's no Bouthier, there's no Carbonell. I mentioned the fly halves already, but yeah, there do seem to be like Thomas is out injured, Barassi is out injured. Those are the other positions, but yeah, there's a lot of inexperience in the outside backs. Lebel, I know him from Toulouse, that's for sure. In a star-studded team, he has looked the most exciting guy, despite not having played at international level. So I am keen to see him get some time. Luc, I don't remember seeing playing for Toulon. Penot is obviously pretty familiar, I think, to most people. He's played a lot of times for France. One of the more experienced guys in the squad, especially the backs with his 25 caps. Villiers, the former Sevens guys, come on pretty nicely. Toured in Australia as well. I think he got at least a couple of tries, didn't he? Not a big guy, but very quick, very elusive runner. And then fullback, you got Doulon, who's got the big old... he's got a pretty big boot, and he's got a lot of experience, doesn't he? 31 years old, certainly one of the oldest guys in the squad, potentially the oldest, alongside Romain Tafufunua. So, yeah, 36 caps also counts as very experienced. But Jaminet also, I think he played in Australia, but he looked alright too. So, yeah, man, there's a fair few new caps, as I mentioned. Bro, I don't know much about him. All the Bordeaux guys, I seem to not know a lot about. Maybe I should watch more Bordeaux. But, yeah. Argentina, Georgia, and New Zealand are the fixtures for France. I mean, from my point of view as a Kiwi, I'll be saying they should be targeting the Argentinian game as a win, based on their ambitions at the moment. Likewise, Georgia, maybe that's a chance to do a bit of experimentation, although a lot of the Georgian guys play in France, so they should be pretty familiar with their French opponents. And then New Zealand is going to be kind of a clash of the Titans and a prelude to the World Cup pool where the two will meet. So, yes, I'm not sure what the target should be. Is it 2 out of 3 as a must? Minimum 2 out of 3, optimally 3 out of 3? I don't know, but yeah, it's pleasing to see the likes of Intermark and Dupont, the kind of big names who we missed out on the tour to Australia. But you can clearly see they are building depth over the last 12 months or more, and they are continuing to do that seemingly with these games in November because of I think that's the most guys with no caps I have seen in any of the squads so far. With I think it's either 9 or 10. So, yeah, very interesting times. You guys who are more au fait with the top 14, do let us know some other guys to look out for in the comments, because I've certainly skimmed over quite a few. Let us know what your thoughts are on what they should be doing or aiming for in terms of what's going to be a successful run for them in November. But, yeah, cheers, guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.